Today we are going to study a case study on Toyota Motors, and this case study is taken from the marketing management book of Philip Kotler. So we'll start. We'll get started. The world's largest automaker Toyota has come a long way in its nearly 80-year history. So it is 80 years old organization. The company launched the first passenger car, the model AA in 1936. The first model was AA, model AA, double A in 1936, copying the body design of Chrysler Landmark Airflow and engine of 1933 Chevrolet. So they copied body from Chrysler and engine from Chevrolet in 1933. Toyota then suffered several challenges, including financial crisis in 1950. So they had financial crisis. They have financial problems. Then they did not know how to uh, how to manufacture a body design of a car, and they don't know how to even manufacture an engine of the automobile. So they have very high ambition that time. However, when the consumers wanted smaller, more fuel efficient automobiles during the 1973 oil crisis, the company responded. So there was a crisis in 1973, oil prices shooted up. Then that time people wanted more fuel efficient car. There was a trend that people wanted to have more fuel efficient car than a more costliest car, because that time they were because of recession period, people could not afford to have luxurious car and spend more on petrol prices. So that time, in the first Japanese car industry responded to the requirement of the people and their customers to prepare fuel efficient car. Toyota Corolla offered basic features and acted as a company's new entry level cars. So Toyota and Japanese cars, they started producing fuel efficient car and basic feature car so that people can can be they can purchase, and it is affordable car and entry level cars. This started enter into entry level cars because already in luxurious car segment there are so many German automobile manufacturers are there, French manufacturers are there, Britain's manufacturers are there, USA manufacturers are there. Toyota also launched the Cressida with the fuel efficiency consumers desired, but space and amenities like air conditioning and AM FM radio. So Toyota then launched Cressida with the fuel efficiency consumers desired, but space and amenities like air conditioning and AM FM radio. So they provide AM FM radio, they provide air conditioning, they provide more space, and they also provided a fuel efficient car. During 1980s and 1990s, Toyota gradually added more models ranging in price, size and features. So they segmented their products into price segment, in size segment, and in feature by the features segment. The basis was price, then size, and then features. In 1982, company introduced Camry, a four-door mid-size car that offered more space than Corona and became the best selling passenger car in the North America. So it is North America specific customer oriented car, Camry, where you have a lot of space, and people liked that and responded positively. The first of the company's popular SUV, the 4Runner, appeared in 1984, looking and acting much like a pickup truck. So 4Runner was SUV, and it was in 1984 they launched, and it was looking like a pickup truck. It later morphed into more of a passenger vehicle and led the way for the RAV4, Highlander, and Land Cruiser. Toyota also introduced a full-size pickup truck, Toyota's Tundra, and several sporty and affordable cars that targeted young adults. So they started entering into full size pickup car, and they also started taking into consideration young adults as a next segment to target. And they were also into several sporty and affordable cars which will be attracted by the youth like sport cars, and they don't have a lot of money, so it should be affordable. It should be a sports car, and it should be affordable car to them because they just enter into the this corporate sector, and they don't have much of the saving, so they want it affordable also. In 1989, it launched Lexus, its luxury division, promising an unparalleled experience, starting with the white glove treatment at the dealership. So at the dealership, they were giving uh, lot of uh, lot of amenities, facilities, and very good experience, unparalleled experience. Also, they started one division called Lexus, and under the Lexus brand, they started selling luxury cars. Toyota understood, however, that each country defines luxury differently. This is a very important statement. You have to write it somewhere because it has got a lot of significance. So each and every country, people living in the country, they define luxury differently. Whatever people like as a luxury in USA may not be like in France. Whatever people like in France may not they like as a luxury in Germany. Whatever we call as a luxury in Germany may not be called as a luxury in UK or in Japan. So every country has different culture, so they do have different definition of luxury. So here customer is more important, understanding customer is more important, perception of the customer about the brand is more important. In the United States it means comfort, size, and dependability. In Europe, attention to the detail and brand heritage is more important. So see, the United States, you just if you give big size car, if you give more comfort, and if it is you give dependability, then it can be into that car can be into a luxurious segment. But in Europe, you have to give attention to the brand heritage. That brand should be old brand. That brand should have evolved several hundreds of year ago, and it has got very good legacy, and you should give attention to fine details. Then only in Europe you will survive in luxury segment. As a result, the company varied its advertising depending on the country and culture. So Toyota started giving advertisement, promotion, communication as per the country specific, as per the culture specific, as per the customization of the advertisement to particular customer group. So for Indian customer they have different advertisement, for European customer they have different advertisement, for Arabic customer they have different advertisement. They started identifying what customer defines as a luxury and how it should be communicated to the customer. In 1997, Toyota launched the Prius, the first mass-produced hybrid car for $19,000 between the Corolla and Camry. So they start feeling the gap which is there in within the two brand uh, category. The company's keen focus on developing a clean energy was brilliantly timed. So that the same time they wanted to focus on a clean energy, so that timing was good, and people were attracted, people thought that this is the right time. And before the second generation Prius hit showrooms in 2002, dealers had already received 10,000 orders. So before they launched the car, they had $10,000 of Prius because of they focused on the clean energy car. Over the next decade, Ford, Nissan, GM, and Honda followed the Prius with models of their own. So other companies started copying, started manufacturing the similar kind of products. Toyota also started creating vehicles for specific target groups like Sion for young adults. So they identify young adults, they have different kind of needs, so they introduce a car called Sion. Having learned this market, wanted more personalization, the company now builds the car monospec at the factory with just one well-equipped trim level, letting customer choose from the dozens of customization elements at the dealership. So they started giving more customization, and they started uh, accepting the taste and preferences of the customer. And monospec, the focus is on how to give more customization, how to satisfy more customers and their desires, needs, and wants. Toyota marketed the Sion at music events and has showrooms where young people feel comfortable hanging out and not a place where they just go stare at a car, said Sion Vice President Jim Letts. So they also thought that why we should have a boring introduction of the car. They started launching the car at a music event where young people can enjoy the music, enjoy the creativity, and at the same environment, they will also get an opportunity to see the new car model. Another big reason behind the Toyota's success as its mastery of lean manufacturing and continuous improvement. So, lean manufacturing, total quality management, continuous quality improvement are the very good tools used by the Toyota to uh, to uh, to to become excellent in the category, car industry. Its plants can make as many as 8 models at the same time, bringing huge increase in the productivity and market responsiveness. So they have 8 different assembly line producing 8 different models. The company also relentlessly innovates. A typical Toyota assembly line makes thousands of operational changes in a year. So innovation is at core. Innovation, they are focusing more on the innovation. They are making so many changes in their operational line every year. Employee sees their purpose as threefold: making cars better, and teaching everyone how to make cars better. So here they teach each and every employee that we are into three segment. First, making car. Second, making that manufactured car, how to make it better. So first of all, how to how to manufacture a car. Second, how to improve that manufactured car more better. And third, teach other companies how to make a car. So very brilliantly they define their work or task. The company encourages problem solving, always looking to improve the process by which it improves all other processes. Toyota has integrated its assembly plants around the world into a single giant network that can customize cars for local markets and shift production quickly to meet surges in demand from markets worldwide. So they have global network, and easily whenever the demand comes from the local market, they easily contact, easily provide the information, can easily work on it and provide the product which is required by the particular market. The company is thus able to fill the market niches inexpensively as they emerge without building whole new assembly operations. So whenever there is any specific requirement, any specific demand from a niche group or a small group, then they immediately work. They do not have to wait, they do not have to start from the scratch, start from the zero. They already have a lot of things in place, they already have a lot of things defined in advance. So they just have to go and start manufacturing new requirement of model of car. If there is a market or market segment where they are not present, they go there. So they also continuously doing market research, market development, business development. They are going to other different countries and trying to identify where we can develop our business, and immediately they are responding to the need, desire, wants, and immediately they are launching car there. Over the years, Toyota automobiles have consistently ranked high in quality and reliability. So Toyota is number one in quality. That is, there is no other second thought. In 2009 and 2010, however, the company recalled more than 8 million, that is 80 lakhs car for potential perceived problems ranging from sticking accelerator pedals to sudden acceleration to software glitches in the braking system. So whenever they feel that there can be a problem, they recalled car and repaired car. The Lexus, Prius, Camry, Corolla, Tundra brands were all affected. So because of there are some technical issue, most of their product brands are affected, but they did not keep quiet. They called their brands back and repaired or removed that defect. Next, Toyota lost billions of dollars when an earthquake and tsunami in Japan destroyed the company's plants and parts supplies in 2011. So Japan is always facing natural calamities. Within that, Toyota plant also got affected, but they recovered from that also. TMC President Akio Toyoda said, "We have faced many challenges since 2009, but we have learned valuable lessons, including the need for Toyota to maintain sustainable growth." So because of this lot of problems, they are coming with lot of solutions. They get more experience and they learn from these bad situation, and they come up with they come up as a winner every time. Despite the challenges, Toyota recouped its losses, so they recovered losses. Its strong focus on a hybrid vehicle has proved profitable and helped the company rebound. So they have very strong focus on how to prepare hybrid vehicle. It sold its 40 million, that is 40 lakh unit in 2012, and plans to continue to innovate hybrids, believing that there are many more gains we can achieve with hybrids. So even though they have manufactured 40 millions 4 millions 40 lakhs car, they think that there are many more things we have to achieve today. So their ambition is sky high, and they have a very good vision, very uh, long term vision. Today Toyota offers a full line of cars for the global market, for from family sedans and sport utility vehicles to trucks and minivans. So they are present in all the segment. In 2013, the company earned more than 22 trillion yen, that is 217 billion. It's very big amount. 2017 billion they have earned. It is very 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 big amount. And sold 8.87 million automobiles, aging past General Motors to become the world's largest car maker. So in 2013, Toyota become number one company in automobile, surpassing General Motors. Now there are some questions. Toyota has built a huge manufacturing capacity that can provide millions of cars each year for a wide variety of consumers. Why was it able to become so much bigger than any other auto manufacturer? It is because of quality focus, it is because of understanding customer, it is because of lean manufacturing, it is because of they have a very good focus on modern trade. What modern technology, advanced technology, how we can how we can solve the problems of the customer, how we can focus on the niche, how we can try to develop the market. So a lot of things are there to become number one for the Toyota. Has Toyota done the right thing by manufacturing a car brand for everyone? Why or why not? Has Toyota done the right thing by manufacturing car brand for everyone? Why or why not? Yes, whatever Toyota's growth and whatever Toyota's success has happened is appreciable, and it is a success story, and we do agree with their strategy. Because until and unless each and every person think that I should go for this brand, I should purchase this brand, the sell will not happen, revenue will not generate, and then company will not get products. And if Toyota is not doing not providing solution, not providing automobiles or the cars to the common people, then some other brand will provide, and other brand will one day surpass the Toyota. So Toyota thought that we should become a car aspiration for everyone, not just for the rich people. So they targeted all the people, whoever is capable of purchasing these car can go ahead and buy this car. So they have all they have focused on the all segments. They have focused on the youth, they have focused on young adult, they have focused on teenager, as well as to the rich people, middle aged people, and they started giving products in all these segment, even for the niche and even for the new markets also. So thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel.